What's up, YouTube? This is Vernacular TV. If you like the content that I'm producing, please like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Today, I would like to have a discussion about how living within the American society or the capitalist society as a whole, how living on within the capitalistic society, somebody is betting on your behalf to fail. Like the movie Rat Race, somebody is betting on your behalf to fail. As far as black people, our inability sometimes to do for ourselves, somebody is betting on our inability to do for ourselves. Somebody is betting on our inability to stay out of jail, to understand the system. Somebody is betting on our inability to come together in a cohesive unit, to work together to change our conditions. Somebody is betting on our inability to make money, to keep us in the condition that we are in. So within this society, somebody is betting on your inability to do for yourself. Your inability to understand the system, to plot, to strategize more. As black men, our inability to stay out of jail and fall victim to the system. Somebody is betting on your inability to do for yourself, to cooperate with one another, to change the condition that is in our community. Somebody is betting on your inability to do it. And they make money off of it. That's how the system maintains itself. That's how people make profit. Somebody is betting on your inability to understand the voting system, the ability to vote or not to vote, and when should you vote and when should you not vote. Somebody is betting on that to make money. Somebody is betting on your inability to let foreign people sometimes come to your community and 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 remove all the wealth from your community, the black community. You buying from these foreign people, but we're not buying from your own people. Somebody is betting on your inability to have that self-hate, not to love yourself, not to love one of your own kind. You mirror the violence towards your own kind. We are war out here in the streets. Somebody is betting on your inability to do for yourself. Somebody is betting on your inability to cooperate with one another, because cooperation will signal a whole different situation to the system itself. When you saw the Black Panther Party during the 70s and the 60s, in America, with African American, the movement that was out here, Black Panther Party, these people establishing an understanding of cooperation with one another, feeding the children, coming together, putting resources together, to try to further your own gain, build the community, stop the violence against one another. That sentiment, that behavior pattern is detriment to the system. So somebody got to be trying to sabotage you, sabotage your community. The war on drugs, put it in the black community. Somebody is betting on your inability to fail within the system, because that's how the system maintains itself. That's how the power that has been bequeathed from slavery times, when their forefather held those powers, been bequeathed down to those that rule. Now king's sons are now presidents. You understand? The power been bequeathed over a period of time. Somebody's betting on your inability to do for yourself. That is the same sentiment within Africa. African people, their minds are so conducive. Their way of thinking are so conducive, so conducive to their own detriment. You let European people come to Africa and you treat them like kings and queens, but they look at African, we are war with each other, the tribal wars, the conflict. African people, when they look at white people, some of them feel like white people are like God. You know, white people are like God. African people think less of themselves, the self-hate. So the inability in Africa to come together and unify that continent after the period of colonization and the removal of black body and black black army, black strength from the continent. Somebody is betting on their inability to come back together. Ever since the Berlin Conference that fractured the country, somebody is betting on Africa's inability to do for herself, to unify. If you talk about unification on the continent, foreign powers get worried. Somebody is betting on black people's inability to come together to do for themselves. Somebody is betting on African people inability to come together to understand this capitalist system, to know this is a system. You've been beat in many aspects within the game, within the system. You know, so you must come back. You must unify your people, come back together, unify the people. But African leader can't do that because they're also corrupt. Somebody is betting on that leadership to do as the slavery and colonial power want them to do. So when African people want to come together, it is always destroyed. The French always destroy the British. They always destroy the Germans. They always destroy, or the Dutch. They always destroy, the United Nations. They always destroy. Somebody is betting on black people inability to do for ourselves. That's why we are lagging behind within the system. We are lagging so far behind within the system because we cannot come together. We are warring inside. We cannot come together to do for ourselves. In the ghettos, in the barrios, in Brazil, in the ghettos, or in the favelas in Brazil, the same thing. Somebody is betting on their inability to understand the system. That's why they got the boot on our necks. Everywhere around the world you see there is occupation of police forces within the black community. Keep the boots on their neck. Somebody is betting on our inability to outmaneuver this kind of tactics. Somebody is betting on your inability to come together to do for yourself. You understand? Somebody is betting. That's how they make money. Your ignorance, keep going to jail over and over again. Keep going to jail over and over. You patronizing other community. You warring with each other. You killing each other. Can't have common discourse without showing off. This hip hop game, we supposed to be the struggle of black people and their communication to the masses of the world. Now this game been twisted around. It's all about gangsterism, thuggerism, warring the game. They're feeding it to our young black boys to using these rappers as tools. Using these rappers as tools. Some of these rappers can't read, but they're literally in the sense that they can put music and construct together. You understand? And using these artists and their gifts as tools to out here keep the community the way it is. The war on drugs, millions of black men in jail. You understand? Somebody is betting on your inability to cooperate. To be civil to one another. To have common discourse, common idea. To come together, to plot together. Somebody is betting on your inability all around the world. From Brazil to South Africa to Nigeria. Somebody is betting on these kind of people, their pigmentation. These people with this kind of pigmentation, somebody betting on your inability to figure out this capitalist system, this global system, this Westphalia system, this system set up by the church, this system that have evolved to what it is now. Somebody is betting on your inability to love yourself, to know your ancestors. When you look to the annals of history, your ancestors stood once at the pinnacle, at the core, stood once at the core of civilization, but now they fell to the peripheral and forgotten. You got to find yourself and change the system, because the system is to be changed, because the portals in the minds of her children are opening. The ancestor calling. The ancestor calling.